Ever since I was a jit, I knew I was a winner. I pray to God forgive me cause I'm a born sinner. Got more on my plate than a Thanksgiving dinner. Gotta save for rainy days cause shit do get thinner.
Yo, how we giving it up, man? It's your boy Jumpout, hello, and you tuned in to check your mental. And today, right, I was gonna talk about something, a topic completely different from the one that I'm gonna talk about, because it got inspired as I was driving here, right? As I was driving to, I always come to the mountains to record. I got inspired for this episode, right? And I had a little situation at my house, in the building that I live in. My water heater stopped working for whatever reason. I went downstairs, tried to turn it on, it wouldn't turn on. And then I'm calling the landlord and to come check this, send somebody. She's not picking up. So immediately, right, my first reaction, I'm human, was I got a little upset. I'm like, you start thinking negative, unfortunately. And I'm a very positive person. I try to be as much as I can. But our human nature is sometimes to just think negative. That's like the quick response, right? So automatically, man, why she's picking up the phone? It's the winter time. It's cold. We pay rent on time. Why isn't she picking up, right? So then I left my house. You know what? Let me go record. And I'm thinking, man, a cold shower in this weather is horrible, right? I start thinking of all the negatives, right? But as I'm driving here, I'm going under this underpath and I see people living under the bridge, right? And automatically, it just humbled me. And that's when the gratitude started coming in, and I started thinking about different things that I can do, right? Because I just thought of them people. They don't even have a place to take a shower at. And we're so privileged that I'm so privileged I got a place to take a shower. I don't have hot water at the moment, right? That's okay, right? I come from a third world country. I was born in the Dominican Republic. When I was young, guess what? We didn't have hot water. We had to literally go down to the well, bring some water in a bucket, and take a cold shower with a little cup and a bucket full of water. And I was completely okay with that, right? And so imagine those people that don't have that. Those people live under a bridge. They don't have anything. They don't have access to water. They don't have access to nothing. They probably take a shower whenever they can, and God knows where, right? And it made me be grateful, and it reminded me of practicing gratitude. Because like I said, I have to practice what I preach a lot more. Because sometimes we forget to be grateful. And at that very moment, my spoiled self and the way we live in America made me forget of how blessed we are. I might not have hot water, but guess what? I could put some water in a pot, warm it up for a little bit, put it in a bucket, and take it back old school, the way you used to take a shower when you were a kid. Until the landlord comes and they send somebody to fix it, right? Because sometimes we drown ourselves in a problem that we forget about solutions. We forget about, hey, how can I solve this? We just automatically go in what is a flight response. And my first response was to flight, man. I didn't sit down for a second and say, you know what? Whenever she calls me back, and for the meantime, I'll just have to warm up some water and take a shower like that. Put some water in the pot, a little bit of warm water in the pot, fill the bucket up halfway with cold water, then you fill the rest of it in hot water so the water could be medium, and I could take a shower like that until the problem gets fixed, right? But that happens in today's society, right? And as a whole, we live in a microwave era that we want things when we want them. We don't want to wait. We just want them right now, right? And we forget to be grateful for everything. We want things when we want them, and it doesn't work like that, right? If I just would have sat down for a second and analyzed the situation and not get in my feelings, because that's the thing, we deal with feelings and emotions, which is totally fine. But it's dealing with them differently, right? Because that's what Check Your Mental is about, right? I had to check my mental for a second, right? And you also have to be open, because I was open to see I was open to see life differently, right? Because as I'm driving, it's just like something just say, look over there, right? Like, and I happen to look and I see the underpass and I see people living under the bridge, right? With tents and cardboard boxes. And I'm like, yo, you're sitting here complaining about no hot water. They don't have a roof. They have to worry about the animals that's in the streets, the the skunks, the all types of rodents that are outside in nature. And I'm sitting here complaining about no hot water. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to take a nice warm shower, but it's not the end of the world, right? And I wanted to talk about that today, right? Gratitude, man. Gratitude. Don't forget to be grateful for what you got, man. Don't forget to be grateful for what you got. Some people don't have none of that. Some people wish they had cold water. Some people wish they could take a cold shower. And I'm sitting here almost complaining, almost about to have a fit over not having no hot water, when I'm blessed to have cold water. It's a blessing to have cold water. I remember we didn't have running water through pipes when I was little. And the minute, like I said, we had to take a shower with a bucket. And I was super happy. I remember it never bothered me. So it's like the more you got, the more ungrateful you become. So again, practice gratitude and don't be ungrateful for what you have, man. Be grateful, man. It could be a lot worse. Also, on my way here, I saw my friend Corey. He rides bikes, and Corey is a very optimistic guy. I say that to say this. Corey fought the battle with cancer and succeeded. But his attitude when he was going through the chemo and going through everything was so positive, right? He just had such a different outlook on life that helped him beat it, right? So it's the outlook, it's how you look at life, right? And it's so, because I found that to be so amazing that I saw him as I'm driving here. He's riding his bike, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta mention Corey in this episode, because his attitude about life helped him beat something that's a lot of people feel defeated once they hear those words. They hear cancer and they automatically feel like it's a death sentence. But his attitude towards it made the treatment go better, right? So again, man, attitude. Change your attitude and be grateful. Because those are two things that I forgot to do today. I forgot to change my attitude. I forgot to look at the positive out of every situation. I forgot to be grateful for the fact that I have water, that I could take a shower even if the water's not warm, right? So before you complain, before you feel like your life is crumbling, look at the blessing out of the situation. You're going through it for a reason. Whatever it is that you're going through, sit and analyze the situation and say, hey, what can I learn from this? What is the learning? What is God trying to teach me? Because everything we go through is a lesson. Every single thing. And sometimes we keep repeating those lessons because we don't get it the first time. So we keep going through similar situations, and sometimes you ask yourself, yo, why I keep going through the same thing? Because you're not learning your lesson. You're not learning something that you got to learn. Once you learn it, you stop going through it. And when you go through it, you know how to handle it much better than the first time because you learned your lesson from the previous time, right? So look at the lesson out of everything, because my lesson today was, man, I got to be grateful, man. Regardless of how things are going, regardless of how life is what's happening in life, I have to be grateful because things are going to continue to happen because that's life, y'all. In life, things are going to constantly happen. Every single day, something might happen. But it's how do you deal with it? How am I going to deal with the situation right now? Am I going to dwell on it or am I going to do something about it, right? Thankfully for me today, I was able to think as I was driving. I was able to see that I have to be more grateful for the things that I have, right? And I was able to come up with a solution because it reminded me of my childhood. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna warm up some water today, and I'm gonna just take it back to the essence, take it back to the motherland when I was a kid, right? I could have dwelled on it all day. I could have let it affect my mood and affect my day, right? I could have let it just completely ruin my day and had an attitude completely throughout the day because something that's out of my control, right? That's out of my control. That's something that's completely out of my control. The water heater breaks, that's out of my control. I cannot control that, right? But what I do have control over is how I react to it, right? And how I'm reacting to it now is, you know what? I got to look at the bright side of this. What can I do to take a warm shower? Well, like I said before, I'm going to warm up some water. I'm going to take me a shower. And getting back to Corey, when you hear these sudden bad news, it's your attitude, man. How's your attitude when you're hearing these things? Or are you automatically feeling defeated? Don't never feel defeated about life. As long as God gives you another day and you woke up, that's a blessing. He's not done with you yet. If you got another day of life, if you woke up this morning, that's a blessing. God's not done with you. So live life like that. As long as you wake up every day, it's a blessing. God's not done with you, right? So I manage out with that today, man. Be grateful for what you got. Be grateful. Look for the solutions. Don't focus so much on the problem. Focus on the solutions, not the problem. Be grateful for everything that you have. Some people don't have anything. Sometimes we open the fridge and we might not have what we want to eat in the fridge, and we say, man, there's nothing here to eat. But there's some people that wish they had whatever you got in that fridge, even if it's leftovers. They wish they could open the fridge to leftovers, but they don't even have that. So remember, be grateful for everything that you got. Show gratitude, show love, show compassion, and be the best version of yourself. So you tuned in to Check Your Mental. This your boy Jumpout Hello. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's spread love, let's spread positivity. I'm trying to reach millions of followers. I'm gonna speak it into existence. I'm not gonna say 1,000, I'm not gonna say 2,000. Millions. Because that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna reach millions. Because I'm already making a difference on one person. And it starts with one person. So you tuned in to Check Your Mental. It's your boy Jumpout Hello. I'm out.
People hate you when you speak the truth. They hate that shit. And shame on you if you mislead the youth.